But they had no.
Well, we can't have you come past this area. Well, we're gonna have to bring the people out to the event. Because I can't let them. It's a health thing. You guys are a health place, like.
The sewer.
I did tell Jeremy to
I talked tonight, today, as a matter of fact.
But it works itself out, it comes out about the same.
Yeah, and I'd like
And he
to
said anything, so.
Right,
Normally, they would
I mean, if you
have.
had it within a couple $100 in savings,
Yeah.
we save a couple $100.
But they
Yeah.
haven't.
We can do
done
this
because
now.
of it.
Yeah, and
So
the
I don't
service
know when
department
they're
we need
gonna-
right here in town.
Yeah, I talked to Gary just to find out,
Yeah.
I asked him about the black flag.
Yeah, I ordered a
thing.
truck
I think he was
and-
spearheading.
So anyway.
Somebody else mentioned, Peter asking about it, but that should be almost done, right? Because we wanted.
I don't know how you guys do it in the process.
It sounded like
I
they were
really
starting to
honestly
wrap
don't know
up,
how
but they
you
were
guys do
trying
it.
to get some
I'd go
interviews
bankrupt.
and stuff, and so now
Because-
like this, it's
Wow,
tough
I
to
mean,
do
just a
that, so they're trying
truck,
to
a
figure
heavy
that
duty,
out.
Right.
250.
But
You
that
know,
was one thing.
60,000.
that we
Yeah.
could talk about.
That's just
The
for
other
a
thing
commercial,
was
that's not
the,
even a commercial truck, that's, I can't even
kind of
imagine
the
what they
update
want.
on,
Yeah.
Something like you guys have.
Around 100,000
all the
just
lots
the
are.
truck.
Yeah, that's
you
nothing
know,
else on
what
it.
about
Yeah, and then the
community
bed's another
development
80.
and economic development, what's gonna be happening after.
Isn't that awful?
the-
That's
the
insane.
lots are-
Highway robbery.
I've been looking at trying to replace my truck and after looking at it, I'm like,
Right.
never mind.
They don't usually.
I talked to a
take
guy-
the
I was thinking
garage
about having mine
from the
rebuilt,
town,
it'd be
they're
cheaper.
gonna tell you.
Yeah.
No,
I talked to
not
a
from
guy
the town
that
point
works
of
up
view,
here
but
at
at
the
peak.
Pat place.
What
He
can
went,
peak
he's out in
do
Michigan.
to-
And he
Well, I
did 25 years and he
remember,
retired in
well, I don't know if you
2014.
remember, I brought that
Came
up
back
at
to
a
Maine.
meeting, a council meeting.
He
when
told me,
Mike
he said, I'm telling you right
attended,
now, anything above the
and he was talking
2007
about
double
peak,
price.
and I asked
Every
them
single one of them.
if they would be interested.
And I think he's right. I got a 2001, I'm gonna run that, the wheels falling off.
As the
Because I ain't paying that.
bills to.
I told my brother,
to
I said, you
community
know,
development.
I think the world of you.
And he said that
You got some
it
good
hadn't
people
been
that
discussed,
can
but
afford
they
it.
could discuss it. He was
Jim
sure
Miller.
that there would be
I
some
said, you think I'm gonna give you 38,000 for a car, 50,000 for a truck, brother, you're on mine all for the drawing. That ain't happening.
The lots are gonna be sold.
I heard my father's
There
kid,
needs
that
to
ain't
be a plan
happening.
in place
Hey,
of
Catherine,
steps
have
where
these
you
been
start taking
updated?
steps now.
Do you know, for the
You
ones
know,
that were
to
left
start
here?
building on that.
Pardon?
Right.
Have these been updated with the new
I'm not sure
changes?
what, I'm
No,
not
she's
sure
still
what it
working
would
on
be
She's
though.
going through every ordinance to
Maybe.
make sure that everything
I don't
is
know,
all
maybe
fine
we
in
could
the
look at the
computer.
whole-
And then,
I haven't
some
heard
of the
what's
books
going on
haven't
with
been
the
updated for a while because people have had them
committee
at
for
home
the
and we got
theater
a
that's
couple
supposed to
back.
be putting
So we're gonna
together
go
the
through all the books and
501c3.
update them all. And
I
they
have no idea what's going on
I don't
here.
know.
So I'll let you know.
Oh, wait, oh, 05.
What?
I'll let you know when they're updated.
Okay, I just, I'm gonna take it home for this next one, I can drop it back off for you at some point.
Yeah, so you might as
Yeah.
But I
well.
wanted you to read it, like,
Silly, that's
trying to wait for
I
you.
don't care if you lease it,
Um,
business can write it off.
yeah.
So they're not any further along
Person
than they
that
have
was out,
been.
private sector,
much.
and leased the vehicle, you might as
So,
well call the police.
I'm gonna make a
I
recommendation
think
that
that
we
he's like,
I ain't gonna-
he's
not
like,
run the theater at all this year
I really
and
wanna
close
spend
it
that
down.
money.
I think we should have done that when all this happened.
When I know I'm just gonna kill it, so you thought of that.
I think we should have done it
It's insane.
You can't do that full
December.
after your income one.
Right.
here,
Plus he wants
just
to
that that's it. If you wanna put together a group,
Yeah.
You know,
that's fine.
He loves
Buy
his
the
farm,
building
but it's
from
not
us,
doing everything he wants
and
it to
you
do.
can do what you want with it.
Amanda, can you give me a little tutorial? Am I supposed to have this on audio, something on the computer or not?
for 40 years.
Are we connected through the phone?
No.
She's not, no, it'd be the computer.
No, but I mean, the meeting itself, is it
We're
connected?
connected to the phone here.
So you want your audio off then?
Right, you.
Well, I'm muted.
Yep,
Yeah,
So
there's
I have to-
vibration going on.
Still in.
yeah, because it echoed
Yeah.
Is
at the
there-
last meeting. and
There
you-
is an echo.
There is.
Yeah, and you, so you muted yours and it
Yeah.
stopped.
I am muted though. I'm
Okay,
Do we
already.
so
have
there
another
shouldn't be a-
microphone going in here?
No, I took the microphone off here. This is the same setup, but there's a repeat now, which started off about 20 minutes ago. So I moved this away, so it will still.
Typically, that
work.
repeat happens because there's more than one microphone.
Catherine, your microphone's on and this is on.
Okay, so Catherine, mute yourself
Well,
on the computer.
well,
Will
let's
she be able
It'll
to
still pick
talk?
up on the phone.
It'll still
All
pick it
right,
up
well,
on the
let's see,
phone.
that's kind of strange.
Huh.
Ooh, I lost it here. Where did we go? Get back here. All right. So mute on here. All right, does that work now?
Oh, still an echo.
Yeah, it's still doing it.
Huh, that's really weird.
It is, it worked fine last time.
Does somebody else have audio output on their
No,
computers happening? Like, do you have a speaker on?
What's that?
Have you have a speaker on your?
Hold on, did that fix it?
No.
No.
I'm not hearing anything.
I turned my speaker
Oh, I
off.
can hear the echo back here, so I know
Yeah, we
what's
can hear the
happening.
echo. Well, hopefully this is the last meeting. This is something new. We've used this several times since and it's been fine.
Usually when we have meetings like
I think
this,
that-
it's only because there's two microphones on or there's two audio outputs on.
Yeah, there's something close by.
You know, using Zoom, if we can get it down to a science, why couldn't committees use Zoom to have some of their meetings, which would free up the clog that becomes the chambers?
It works good upstairs. It's perfect. It's down here that
Yeah.
there's issues.
But I mean, then they could, if someone didn't want to actually come to the meeting for some reason,
sure.
if they held it by Zoom,
Yeah. Mhm.
No, I think that we
And
should
then-
allow more opportunities. Now that it's allowed to use Zoom,
Yeah,
we should.
well, that's what I'm
We could have a
saying.
screen thing back here
A
and you
larger
can
one,
project,
yeah.
and
Where
then
it's
you can do
projected.
shared screens
Yeah.
and there's so much you can do with it.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I
Is that
saw
still
it.
echoing?
Another town
Yeah.
has gone forward and bought a bigger
See, I
screen so you
can't
can see
hear
the
it,
people
No.
on
so
it
it
and
must
turn
be
it to the
bouncing
audience.
off the brick.
It echoes back here pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
Well, this is what we've got right now.
Oh, well, we'll deal with it.
I'm not hearing it, so I'm all set.
All right, so we are all
So
set.
we good to
We
go?
have Everybody here.
All right, so, let me get the right page here to look at. All right, welcome to the regular meeting for the Pittsfield Town Council, Tuesday, May 19th. If we could all stand and have a pledge of allegiance, please.
And pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Silence, please.
This meeting is being recorded.
Now.
That was less than enough.
Thank you. And the next item is adoption minutes of the regular meeting held on May 5th.
Move we adopt the minutes of the regular meeting of Pittsfield Town Council held on Tuesday, May 5th, 2020.
Second?
Any adjustments to the minutes needed, counselors?
No, I didn't see anything. I thought it was quite concise.
Okay, all those in favor of adopting the minutes of our last regular meeting, May 5th, 2020, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nay? And that passes. Presentations, congratulations, introductions. Catherine.
Yes, just a few items for economic and community development this evening as we get all going again with some exciting news. First, we have a business license that's been issued to Michael Holland for the Outland Farm Brewery, which has been up and running for a few weeks at 113 North Lancey Street in 6th and 7th. They've been doing some drive-by selections for people for their orders, and that's been working out really well. They did a wonderful job setting up their area, and we'll be excited when they can have people inside, and which should be shortly, if not this week. So that would be wonderful. They've done a really good job. And of course, our other exciting news is the Puritan project, which is down at the UTC facility, former UTC and former Edwards facility. Chimbro has been working around the clock, the weekends, the evenings, with everybody on board, working hard to change the setup in the building and set it all up the way that the company needs it for their expansion. This is a magnificent project that will not only put people back to work, but it takes a building that was so vital and an important part of our town, and now we'll have it functioning again with a lot of activity and livelihood for people in the community, and it's also fighting the war on the COVID-19 virus, so that is very, very good. Thank you very much.
So look out for traffic jams and stay open.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Public hearings and old business, ordinance 20-09.
For ordinance 20-09, that the Town of Pittsfield Town Council hereby ordains the tax anticipation note borrowing for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2020 on the following terms. Order that pursuant to Section 5771 of Title 30A of the Maine Revised Statutes as amended, and the ordinance adopted on the date hereof, the town treasurer is hereby authorized and empowered to borrow money from time to time during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2020, in the principal amount or amounts not exceeding $500,000 at any one time outstanding, in anticipation of the collection or receipts from taxes by the issuance of tax anticipation notes of the town, each of which note shall be designated Town of Pittsfield 2020 Tax Anticipation Notes. All of such tax anticipation notes and any extensions, renewals, or replacements thereof shall be signed by the town treasurer and countersigned by at least a majority of the members of the town council, shall be payable on or before November 1st, 2020, out of money raised by taxation during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2020, shall bear interest payable at maturity at a rate determined in the manner as approved by the treasurer, and shall contain such other terms and provisions not inconsistent herewith, and be in such form as shall be approved by the officer signing the same, whose approval shall be conclusively evidenced by the execution thereof. And be it further ordered that the treasurer is hereby authorized to award the notes to such person or entity as approved by the town council, such approval to be conclusively evidenced by the execution of the 2020 tax anticipation notes, and be it further ordered that the notes authorized by the foregoing are hereby designated as qualified tax-exempt obligations for purposes of Section 265, subsection B of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended, and be it further ordered that the treasurer of the town be authorized to cover it with the purchases of the notes on behalf of the town and for the benefit of the holders of the notes, that the town will take whatever steps and refrain from taking any action as may be necessary or appropriate to ensure that interest on the notes will remain free from federal income taxes, including, without limitation, the filing of information returns and reports with the Internal Revenue Service and the payment of any rebate due to the United States of America. The end.
So, thank you. So this is a public hearing, so we will look to public input through the Zoom app. Catherine, do you see anyone else but us on there?
I don't see any reactions as of yet. If anyone's interested in speaking on this, right now everybody's on mute. Let me know by going down to the bottom of your screen. On the right-hand side, it says reactions, and you can wave your hand, or
There's
really no one there, just Heather and the phone now. And we've also got the water sewer department for the truck. So at this point,
So there isn't anybody else there right
no
now.
reactions.
So we'll close the public hearing, and counselors, any discussion on ordinance 20-09? I'm sorry, we should have a vote
A
first.
motion.
Move
Yes, we
we,
need a motion first.
move we adopt ordinance 20-09.
Second.
Thank you. Now, any discussion?
I have a question about the borrowing money from time to time in an amount or amounts not exceeding $500,000 at any one time. Does that mean that each borrowing amount could be up to that amount, or is that cumulative up to?
So this is the language that we have to use. By looking at the cash flow in the prior years, The last couple of years, we've gotten close to a tax anticipation note, but we did have enough funds in our unappropriated surplus and our revenues coming in. However, this year, that may not happen. We're going to be extremely close, so it's best to plan ahead. It would be $500,000 in total for the period of time, and that's it.
Okay.
Any other questions or discussion, counselors?
Are there specific things that are being allowed and are not being allowed under this?
So this will authorize us to be able to put out the request for proposals. So what happens is that we put out an RFP to the banks with a legal ad. The banks put in proposals, and then the town would have one note of $500,000. We used to do it as needed, but it's just easier and less expensive to do the one note. So then this is put into an account, it goes into the town's checking account, and then as we draw down on the expenses, the money is there as a buffer. So it's in the it's like it's part of the town's money. And then as the revenues come in, we start getting more and more money from the taxes. Because during the year, even in a non-year like this, you have less revenues coming in and more expenditures going out until you hit the summer when the tax bills are issued, because that's 70% of our revenues. And so at that point, we're flush with cash, and then we can do investments or what have you. I think this year, from looking at the revenues coming in, it's going to be slower. We had a third of the revenues came in that normally come in April. It's better than a lot of other towns. And we are pushing the vehicle registrations right now to get everybody going and everything. So I think people will be happy to do that. But just doing the projections and doing percentages, of what will come in for water, sewer, and taxes, it's going to be less than usual. And we need the buffer of the monies in the account so that our cash flow is good and we can pay our bills.
So we can pay our
timely.
bills.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that it's something to help with our cash flow until we get the revenue that comes in. I'm just wondering, what are we allowing it to be spent on? Is it just for electric and the water bill that we have to pay and stuff like
Right,
that?
it's just the warrants.
Okay.
The warrants that you approved and the payroll,
Okay.
which is done separately by your motion at the beginning of the year. There's nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
School
perfect.
payments on the warrant.
All right,
It's
great.
our regular bills. So let's say we had $200,000 worth of bill in a month, but only $100,000 revenues, and we keep doing that, we'll run out of money at a certain point. So this is a buffer here to pay the bills, and then as the taxes come in, we pay it back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other clarifications, Counselor? Okay. Let's vote on ordinance 20-09. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not hearing any, that passes. That brings us on to reports. Council committees, finance, ordinance, and recycling. I don't think we've had any meetings. Tim, have you had a recycling meeting?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Still.
Sorry,
No, go
no,
ahead.
I was missing, have we heard back from
We
the
did,
person
yeah.
for the
Yeah.
finance? Because I'd really like to get a meeting set up.
Yes, I have those here tonight. You seem to like your Thursdays, so I focused on that. I put out the date of June 4th, June 11th, and June 25th, as well as June 18th. So I gave them 4 dates. And so Bar Harbor was able to meet on several dates with no issues, and I put out the period of time of 5 to 7, so you could choose 6 or 5 or whatever you'd like. And so Bar Harbor was all set with that. TD Bank North could only come and do the Zoom or whatever process we set up on June 11th. So if those dates, if that doesn't work, I'll try some more dates.
Are those the only two that we needed to hear from?
Yes.
Okay. How does that sound, Deb, with your schedule?
So look at June 11th.
11th would be the primary one to
Yes.
look at?
We both could do it that night, which would be good. Then you can do,
Mhm.
meet with the 2 banks,
I have
and you can do
nothing.
other ones.
Wanna do the 11th then? Do we wanna start at 5?
What were the dates?
June 11th.
June 11th is the best date for everyone, of the bank.
Yeah.
Amanda, are you back at work or are you still at home, or do you know now what you'll be doing then?
It's all up in the air.
Yeah.
But if we set it at 5 p.m., I'll let them know that it's already set.
Okay, just 5 work. Deb is
Yeah, 5.
better in the night, better for you.
5 is good.
Okay.
I think we're doing
We
split
usually
shifts
eat late,
anyway.
so if we have an early meeting, it doesn't interrupt our dinner.
Okay.
So I told each of the banks they have no more than 45 minutes for everything. So if we think we want less, 45 seems to work well.
How about half an hour?
If you want to go half an hour, we'll try that.
I think they need
I think a half an hour is sufficient,
Okay.
because they give us a packet and
Yeah.
we
You'll
do
have your
know how
packet
to
ahead of
read.
time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Half hour.
Okay, we'll do a half an hour.
That'll give us at least an hour-long meeting plus any discussion
Other
items
things.
that we want to put on there as well. Might be another 45 minutes.
I like
That
that.
sounds good.
Okay.
And then,
So is this gonna be
7,
considered the
June
finance
11th
committee?
is the
Yes.
finance committee
Yep.
meeting.
Okay, at 5.
So one of the banks did not really like Zoom, so they mentioned some other things. So I'll explore and see what's going on and if they can use it. They said they could do it, but they prefer some other platforms, so I'll talk with them. And then Ed at TD Bank North said Zoom was fine.
So we couldn't let them because it's just a committee meeting? And how many people would be coming?
They may not be allowed to come.
I think
Oh.
it
Yeah,
could be
they-
that, or
at
it could be
this
the fact
point-
that they're driving from Portland.
Yeah,
right?
they're not coming,
Oh.
they're not going to meetings at this point, and I think
Yeah.
that's best.
Well,
Yeah.
Portland's pretty locked down.
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were allowed to open, they are not.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, plus, I mean, it's an hour and a half drive to Portland. They're going to come up and present for half an hour.
Right.
I'm comfortable with
Exactly.
them doing it over.
This is really convenient for them.
However they can make it work.
And it's efficient too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll get the format set up and I'll let you know.
Okay.
I would prefer to stick with Zoom if we could.
Yes.
Because people who might want to join, they're getting used to Zoom.
Yeah.
Let's not change it up on them.
And as far as ordinance committee, I believe we're still waiting on issues from the planning board. Their next meeting is scheduled for June 8th, I believe. Was it?
They forego the May meeting,
Yeah.
and so they headed toward the June meeting. They have a large project that will be on there, and it talked about a public hearing. I haven't heard any more.
Okay, so we might be looking at end of June before we have any ordinance committee
So
meeting,
it's-
unless there's something somebody wants to bring up.
Is the June 8th project that they're going to be talking about that solar farm?
Huh?
Because I want to be part of that meeting.
Preliminarily, it appears it will be, yes.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
I haven't seen.
You'll
the-
be putting a Zoom information thing out for that?
Yeah, well, they're talking about having a regular meeting in here. That's why they postponed their May one. They really weren't interested in using Zoom.
Okay.
So we'll see here. If we can't, do it regularly because we're gonna have so many people, and the limitation is supposed to be 50, so we might be able to do it. If it has to be by Zoom, we'll tell them they have to use it, and I'll help. I already offered that to the building inspector. I can set it up for them and everything.
So, to be determined.
But June
But
8th is
definitely
the-
June 11th.
No, ours
Finance
is June
committee
11th.
is
Oh,
June
you're
11th.
talking ordinance.
Planning board.
So we're
Okay.
talking, nope, right now we're talking about planning board. Planning board has a meeting on 6/8.
We got on the planning board because we're talking about ordinance.
We're
and-
waiting for things to come back to the ordinance committee from the planning board.
And they meet on the
June 8th.
8th.
What time on the 8th, Catherine?
7 p.m.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll make sure you get a notice.
That's just one I don't want to miss because it
Correct.
goes behind our property.
Okay,
And
so.
7.
Board and committee updates by town councilors and town manager.
Oh, wait, sorry, we didn't hear. When are you guys planning to meet for recycling? I interrupted him
yes,
very
sorry.
rudely.
What I'm doing is I've been waiting to see how this COVID thing goes. I'd like to have a meeting in June to discuss the reuse. I mean, we've basically gotten past Earth Day and all that. We really should meet and discuss going forward what we want to do with, as the way things are right now with the reuse center, because we want that open in the summer so that people can use it. But we have to make sure that we're meeting the guidelines before we do that, so that, and we got some questions on handling, and
That's
we need to have a meeting to
That's
discuss
a hard
this.
building and the setup with the fact that items are traded in the parking lot before they get in.
So I want to discuss with the committee, you know, and Catherine, going forward here, you know, do we want to have a special set of rules when we first start? Are the women gonna need help?
They're
You know,
gonna need, they would need help.
Yeah, you know, I mean, those are issues we really need to hammer out in a meeting. I'd like to have one in June, before it gets way into summer. But, I'll know more in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we will know, because there's supposed to be guidance coming down from the Maine Municipal Association. Maine Municipal Association said the state is setting some other rules for the municipalities on their openings and their recreation, swimming, and a few other areas that they talked about their parks, and we haven't seen anything as of yet. And MMA is supposed to be working with them on that. So, from what Heather has told me and what I know from talking to businesses, that usually before the date that they say you would open these items, you get your information on how to do it.
And I mean, I'm not saying we won't do anything else,
Yeah,
but we're
a
gonna
very
be,
short period of time ahead of time.
we're gonna be primarily concentrating on the reuse center, because that's what we can do
Yeah.
right now. So, yeah, I'll let you know as soon as I get something set up, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear more about the possibility of using the Facebook thing like we had talked about last meeting. You know, if we can't fully open, like I've got a couch I really want to get rid of. And it's like almost brand new condition.
Well, we can
couch.
have a number of trash to treasure days, remember those, Catherine?
Yes, those were very
Just
effective.
put stuff out by the sidewalk
People pick it
that
right up.
you don't want, and people go around as if they were yard sailing, and you just put free on the box.
Oh, those worked really good. Jane Woodward started that, it was great.
Yep, and it works really well.
Well, maybe that's something that could be considered in your
You
meeting.
might want to think
too.
about that
Yeah,
again.
again, we'll have to
'Cause you
look
got,
at,
well, yeah, Jane, is she still on your committee?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
the biggest thing is, like I said, guys, the biggest thing that's an obstacle to this stuff is the situations where we just have to make sure that we're not, you know, as far as handling things and so that sort of thing. We just haven't had a sit-down session yet to get everybody
Well,
together.
Well,
But
if
I'd
you're
like to have it
doing one
June.
like that, it's really kind of a use of beware. They're taking it into their own hands.
You
It's
take-
not-
Correct.
Right, and that's the thing we gotta talk about.
That's the
with-
thing, if you help, you don't have to go around and look at the free stuff.
Exactly. So,
Plus the rules,
But
see, the rules
if
of
you don't-
handling things inside versus outside the parking lot,
See what
that might
we
be totally different.
Right.
So those
If
are
you
all-
do trash to treasure, that doesn't mean it's the town that's doing it. It means
Right.
people in the community
Have
who
decided
don't
to do
have
it.
those restrictions.
Yeah.
So maybe
So-
those are some really good ideas for the committee to address.
See, you're gonna have a bunch of things built up that people are gonna wanna
Oh
get
my
rid of.
God, I've got 3
Because
boxes.
it's not just like the summertime that you gotta think about, it's like through the winter, and maybe
Yeah.
that can kind of, the Facebook type thing, or an online bulletin board type thing to connect people, maybe that's a way that would be keeping it active throughout the year, as well.
So we were part of the free cycle for Waterville on the Bangor ones. So that's something that they seem to be starting up and using more. They changed their address, and I got a notice on that, so that might be something we could look at.
Absolutely,
Because
especially.
everybody got on there and started trading things.
And the other thing too is you've got a lot of people, not so much right here, but you've got a lot of people that are out of work. And they really, you know, the money's gonna be going towards catching back up on their rent, catching back up with the power company, whatever, and, you know, maybe they're destitute, they really need a coffee table, or they really need a table, or they really need, and it's there. Other people are gonna sit around with dust hanging off it. They wanna get rid of it. And I think, like you said, in the wintertime especially, I really think that bulletin board would come in handy, because then you can actually go to the person and discuss it. Whereas in the summertime, you got the building. You know what I mean? So that's stuff that, yeah. So I'll let you guys know, I'd like to have a meeting in June if we can.
Yeah, I think that the instructions that the library is trying to use, which has been difficult for them with the books and bringing the things in and out, is somewhat similar to the recycling, although there's more categories of items. So their information would be helpful for the ladies.
I'm gonna try to set one up I'd like to get it the first couple weeks in June, but it might be the last two, I don't know.
I think
We'll
it's
see.
going to be the last.
Probably be the last two, because you guys got meetings coming up in June as well.
Yeah.
But before the end of June, I'd like to at least have one meeting so we can figure out what we're gonna do with get the reuse center back open so people can use it.
So we'll check back in with you at the first meeting in June to see how that's going, and by then we should probably have more guidance from the state
Yes,
as well.
we're gonna get it.
To go by to kind of like give you guys a little bit better idea of procedures and things like that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, town managers report.
All right, very good. For the town manager's report, we thank everybody again during the civil emergency for working so hard on different projects and helping each other. And thanking the town employees because everything has been more interesting to do. And it's so much nicer that we have everybody back working up the different buildings on shifts. And next week, everybody will be working here in the building full-time and other buildings full-time. So that will be very good. In terms of the town office reopening, we have the delivery of some parts of our partitions in glass. We're working with Newport Glass, and they have 6 buildings, projects that they have that are waiting for certain parts, petitions that are necessary that are on back order and have been for over a month. And so some of that has been installed today. The rest is on its way. We're not sure when, but we may be able to carpenter or something until things get put into their proper place. Our other items for the floors and cleaning products are all on back order, have been for months. So we will do the best that we can. We're going to have Donnie Shute come through because we will have to set up one-way traffic. Have people monitor in a certain area, only have a certain number of people in the building. So we're still working on this, and once the glass in the doors went in today, that's given us some other ideas, so this will be a phased approach. In the meantime, we're working with the citizens, having them use the new drop box, which they really like because it's huge. And that's been helpful for the councilors to be able to drop off things too. Doing a lot of registrations in the mail. We have promoted rapid response. We're on that now. The registrations go through. It takes a couple of weeks for the information to get to the town. So this will make our reconciliation process for finances go slower until we figure out another way to do this. So that may add a week or two to the whole process, but I think having the citizens have the availability of being able to from the convenience of their home to register their vehicles and do it at their business is really good. So we will work on that, see if we can set up a different process. The money is starting to come into the town's checking account. You got entries left and right there, and so we have the totals, but not exactly all the information that we need. And we will have that shortly from the state. We'll see how that will work. The boat excise is set up, and that has been working really well. People can register their boats very quickly there. So they can do online their re-registrations for vehicles, re-registration for trailers, re-registration for boats. All new items still need to be done with the town.
So ATVs and
That we've already
trailers
been
and
able to do, yes.
snowmobiles
We can do those, yes.
online.
Yes, we've been able to do those for a
Through
while.
Moses, right?
Yeah, Moses, those
Yeah.
are the easy ones to do.
Yep.
And that's only re-registrations though.
Correct. And then you do your new registrations, and then it becomes a re-registration.
So you go to the town website?
Yes, there's actually, I put it out on Facebook several times. I'm gonna keep doing it, because I keep getting questions about it. And that's fine, because it's hard to see everything on Facebook when you see your long list of items. If you go to the town website, there's several entries, and it has a link that you can click on that says re-registration online, and it talks about the boats and the vehicles and everything.
Maybe you could post a screenshot of that circled to help people find it on the website.
Which circle?
No, just the link that they're supposed to click.
Yeah, I have it right at the top. It should be, that should be clear. And then
It's really different on your cell phone.
yes, it does look funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a
web
long
pages
line.
don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty long lines.
So is there an extra fee for using that as well?
There's an agent fee for the state, which is more than our agent fee, so the state gets the agent fee and the town does not. So if you still want to register them here, that's fine with us.
Yeah.
So at this point, that's a convenience item. It will cut down on the number of people coming in the interim while we're still closed or getting phased out to open and do like a soft opening. Instead of having 300 people run down here, we can start getting people all registering their vehicles, which is what we're doing. I put out the rapid response 4 times now, and so I'm going to put it out every other day, and hopefully everybody will see it.
Did the date of the requirement for the registrations go out when the state of her
I think it's,
powers went out as well to June 11th? Is it 30 days after that date now, or is it 30 days after the 15th of May? This has all been very
I think
confusing.
it's,
Yeah, it is very confusing. So on the re-registrations that have expired or will expire this month, it goes for 30 days from the last order that went out. It's like May 13th, so it's June 13th or June 15th for your re-registrations. Your new ones, it contradicts. So it sounds like it could be that, but I think it's going to be 30 days after the civil emergency is lifted. But it contradicts in the orders, and the Secretary of State and the Governor's office do not agree on this. So once this is resolved, I'll put that out.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, very good. So we've got all of our online services. We're going to talk about the transfer station new fee system this evening on what the date will be, so that will be good. And on to, we're following all the proper social distancing. We've got all of the ordinances, orders, and resolutions separately set up for everybody, and we are 6 feet apart, so that is very good. The only document that we do have to sign that I have put out on the table, because the state will not allow us to have 6 copies of it, is the alcohol beverage license. So you use your own pen and just sign the paper and we'll be all set. And I put it out in the middle of the table. I'm excited to indicate that we will have a capital improvement plan meeting for the airport in June. And this is exciting that Construct Stormwater Controls is listed for 2020, which we just applied for the grant. And they put it in as $600,000. We didn't apply for quite that much, but that is good. For the next year of 2021, if this stays this way, it will be great. They have listed construct the 6-bay T hangar and hangar apron for $529,500, along with our other monies that we have available for a total project of $954,000, because we've been saving up money. Now that may be unrealistic with the construction costs, which are skyrocketing for projects of this type, but it's nice that it's listed there for 2021, and if we do have to move it back to 2022 where it was originally, then that's what we'll have to do to save up enough money for the project. So it is on there for the hangar, which will be great because the airport is constantly, until COVID-19, been contacted by pilots that want to bring their aircraft there and hangar it, and there's no space available.
Catherine, if they have it slated for 2021, is it possible to stage the construction in 2 stages if we have to, instead of moving the whole project into 2022, could we do the groundwork and the pre-construction and the apron, and then in 2021 and then do the building in 2022?
Well, that's what they had planned to do, but they put it all together. We did separate out all the stormwater, the drainage, and that has part of the apron involved in it. So that's the project for next year, for 2020. The project for next year, they reduced the amount and put it in for the whole rest of it, and they had it divided up into 2 years. So we'll find out more in June. Maybe the prices have gone down and they know something we don't know. But the fact that it's even on here is wonderful.
So that's good.
Because as some of you will remember, Tim will definitely remember this, we had the hangar on there for years, and we had to do all the safety items. And then the FAA put on that we had to put a fence around the entire airport, which is over 300 acres, and we were like, no. That's
I remember
a
that.
severe waste of taxpayer dollars, grant dollars, and foolish.
If they want it done, they can pay for it.
Well, and it still wouldn't even work. It was just, it didn't seem realistic, and it took us a long time to get that off, but we did, and then the hangar went full force ahead. So that was good news. I wanted to let you know on the nice red house that burned down, that was signed back to the individual by the bank. They will be going forward and putting in a foundation within 2 weeks, so the code officer will be following up on that. So all the debris will be cleaned up, the foundation will be put on, and that should be by the end of May.
Is that the one on West Street?
Yes, so that will be very good. We also contacted the town attorney, not that we want to do this project, but we have to, on the 2 code enforcement violations in which the people have not moved forward even after their legal letters. One promised to, that is the one on Manson Street with the decrepitated building that nobody can live in. It needs to be straightened out and work needs to be done. And then the property on Somerset Avenue with all the ladders, called the Ladder House, needs to be straightened out because that's somewhat of a danger.
Somewhat? Love those ladders. I'm surprised kids haven't been climbing them and getting up on them.
It's a strange thing, and once in a while the ladders move. So it is interesting. But 80K hearings, which is what this is, of course, aren't going forward as well as other hearings in the court system. But what we're going to do with the legal monies without spending too much and just do these 2 projects to see how well they go, is to get them ready to go to court because they're not going anywhere. And the Somerset Avenue one is a deterrent. It's just inappropriate and doesn't look safe at all.
Well, it detracts, that's mainly
Yeah.
Main Street into town, so.
I know, the whole rest of the area looks really good, and then there's that property. And just 2 more items. I'm going to be putting the information on for the new cars right onto Facebook, which gives everybody every piece of instruction they could ever have. So hopefully this will make it clear, because once I do a posting, then everybody gets on, they start asking questions, and so we're going to do the whole thing. Some of you will remember that several years ago, we were offered a system that would monitor the vehicles or the airplanes coming into the airport, that there was a cost attached to it for the town in which we would pay a certain amount of money, a quarter of the cost, and then it was 5% of the cost. And so now MDOT has come around working with the FAA to set up a statewide aviation system plan. And so now they're indicating that they want the towns to have this, including us, who voted it down, in order to justify the data that's necessary for MDOT for any future investments in the towns, for the town, the state share for the town projects for the airport. And remember, we have a really big one coming up. They are going to require this, except for Bangor International and Portland International, because they already have a tower at airport. So they're putting all towns on notice that they may be jeopardizing future state funding unless they go forward with this guard system. This is the system that Caleb really wanted. It would be very, I'm sorry, Heather remembers it.
I remember.
Yeah, I know, I was shocked, but that's the way it went.
I remember.
So in any case, it will be a good traffic counting system that is for security-wise and also to know exactly what's going on at the airport. It also helps with radio communications for the pilots and the ground vehicles, and it has a training tool and a whole variety of other items. And so they want us to say yes or no. The state has indicated that it will be 100% paid by them, whether it is a purchase by the state for all the units for all the airports, or if they do a reimbursement program with the sponsors, in which we would get reimbursed. So I have to say yes or no. I'm going to say yes, and then there's an agreement that comes down. So if things don't look good, I think at that point we can say no, then we'll be happy. But that would give you the option if you wanted to get out of it, based upon the requirements.
So they're saying we don't have to pay for, we may have to pay up front, but we get reimbursed.
Yes, I think we'll be all set, because they have a number of airports that didn't go forward because they had to pay for it. And so now they're saying they're just gonna cover the whole cost. And I do have that in writing, but I don't have the agreement that was signed, resolution and everything. So
The FAA wants this.
yeah.
It'll happen.
And remember, our big project is coming, so.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, really, they're saying say yes or no, but they're telling us if we say no, we get nothing.
We're gonna have trouble.
Pretty
If you
much.
say no, you will get that.
And even when this came to us before, it was like a 5%, it was like nominal cost.
Well,
It was kind of silly.
So why didn't we get it before?
There were counselors that did not feel that we should spend that much money. I think it was like $1,200.
Oh, wow.
It was not a lot at all, but they didn't feel that we needed it at the time.
No, they were adamantly opposed to it.
Yes.
Which was a surprise, we were all, the
We were
rest
all
of
just
us
like,
were
what? No, what
surprised.
happened?
It was a
Yeah.
split 3 to 4.
Yeah. And it's basically it's a survey system. It keeps track of how many planes are coming in and going out and how much air traffic we have. And you can use that data when you're writing grants and things like that. So it would have been very useful, I think, to have over the years. And it also helps with safety items, and it acts as a beacon too. So it helps people navigate as they're flying because it's this little beacon giving off information.
Because it's like a
as they
point
go.
for them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pinpoint, like here's Pittsfield, when you're looking at like trees everywhere, you know, from high above. So, no, it'll be good to have it.
All right, good. So I'll say yes, and then we'll look over the agreement when it comes. And the last item I'm going to note is that people are very busy, so I contacted PCS Specialty Contracting in Skowhegan about their 2 bids for the municipal building wash seal and repointing and the fire station masonry replacement. Called up, and the company is really excited about the projects. They say their pricing is still good. They're just getting their employees back to work, so it's perfect timing. And so they expect to show up in 2 to 3 weeks, and will coordinate the project with us. So they were very, very happy.
Fantastic.
It's awesome.
So that is great.
Years in the making.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's all the repointing.
Yes, the size of the buildings and the different
Awesome.
areas that need work. And you have to remember, it's a 45-year-old building, so, you know, this needs to be done.
Yeah, when we redid our front porch, the bricks practically turned to dust. Because the house was built in '63, so.
And that's starting here in areas. All right, very good. Thank you very much. I'm all set.
Okay, so new business, we have order 20-06.
Order 20-06, ordered that the town council amend the transfer station recycling center user fee system effective June 1st, 2020, revising the implementation date to August 1st, 2020.
Move we adopt order 20-06.
Second?
Counselors, discussion on order -2006. So this was, we had a public hearing for this, and we had discussion prior to COVID coming to visit, and this has been just kind of pushed off and delayed.
Do we have any audience people who want to talk on it?
Oh, we don't have any audience people aside from the water sewer department.
Yeah, there's a water sewer department. and the-
I'm not on my phone this time. so-
Yeah.
And thank you, because it would be just another vibration, I guess.
No, this is just taking everything that we had already approved and pushing it out. The one question I had about this, Catherine, is are the transfer station tickets, are they dated with a certain date? Is this they colored? Like, how is that working with those stickers that came in?
So the stickers have 2020 on them, and they're a different color than the other year's stickers. And so they'll be good for 2020.
Will they be good through August of next year? Are we also pushing out the end date?
So the stickers say 2020, so if you want to push them out, we can use them, and everybody will have it 2020 until a certain point.
That won't be
It's gonna be
If
confusing.
you do that, then that's the way you're gonna have to do it, period.
I know.
Half
Well,
the year,
because-
so.
The problem is because we are pushing it out 2 months, people aren't actually getting a year when
So
they're paying for
the
a year.
first year, they're $10 instead of.
We could do that, so
Do-
that we prorated them in the
Prorate the
beginning.
price of the sticker.
Is that more confusing to people, or are the stickers printed yet?
Yes, we had the stickers.
That's why I
first.
asked.
Oh, you already have them?
Yes, we've had them for months. Yeah. It's just that there was no possible legitimate way to distribute them and make sure everybody knew.
No, of course not, of course.
If you charge $20 for a sticker and you put it out in August and you want it to go a year before 2021s have to go on there, it's gonna be confusing no matter how you slice
It will be
it. But if you're gonna do that and you're gonna let it go a year, you're gonna have to give them a drop dead date, and we're gonna have to make it a public notice that by August 1st of 2021, you've got to have your new sticker,
We
just like an
could-
inspection.
Yeah, we could say that it's a COVID sale, and your stickers are only half price this year.
I think
I like
that's
that.
I think that
another
would
way
be the
to-
easiest thing to do.
Yeah, that's
So,
probably
and that
what it
way,
is.
in December, you register your dogs and you get your dog sticker for
And
2021.
get it for the whole year, instead
Yep,
of January
you know,
1st.
It's something that you can remind people of at the same time.
I think that's a really good idea, we
It is.
prorate the first year and
And
then.
make sure everybody knows it's prorated too, otherwise they're gonna say,
Yes.
well, our dog sticker was only $10 last year, now it's 20, type thing, so, yeah.
Maybe
Yeah, I
even
think
on the
that's good.
receipt, right, prorated.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Well,
gonna-
this will be the first year that it actually has an expiration date, right?
No, they have to get a sticker.
They have,
You
but
get a
You only have to
sticker, but
pay
then.
once, but you get a sticker every year.
They're not paying the fee every year?
No.
Right now, that's what this is.
That's what
That's why
was
we've done
happening.
this.
This is
Isn't
fixing
it,
that.
oh, well, depending on who you're talking about. No, it's transfers to, wait a minute.
this is
wasn't.
the new system.
This is the new system, the old system, you paid once.
Yeah,
And you
paid
could
double.
keep
You
it
were a
forever.
lifetime transfer station person, you just had to get a new sticker every year, which most people didn't.
So they still need to get a sticker every year, but it's $20 a year for their sticker.
Correct.
Right.
Which
Now
will
we
make
have to
very
pay
clear.
a
But
year
this
fee,
year,
but you never
it'll be-
did.
Right, no,
Yeah.
I thought you were saying that they only paid.
No, we
once.
were talking about previously.
Okay, I missed that part, never mind.
So if we're going to change that, we should put it into the motion, amend the motion and put that in. And then it'll be
So-
clear that we move the implementation date back and change the price.
I move that we adopt order 20-06 with the amendment that all of the user fee rates will be prorated for the year of 2020.
Second.
Do we need amounts in there, Catherine?
Pardon?
Do we need amounts? Do we need to specify $10?
Are we prorating them?
$20?
I think yes, we do. 'Cause
Okay,
people
so
will-
prorate them by 50% for the year 2020.
And that's just for the sticker fees, not the other fees, because those are all
Correct.
item fees.
Yes.
For the sticker fees, yes.
That way, everybody will get a new one in January, and it'll start out like it's
Yes,
supposed to.
yes, we won't always be behind by half a year or more.
All right, so we have an amendment on the floor for order 20-06 to amend the 2020 sticker fee rates by 50% reduced, made by Amanda, reduced, seconded by Tim. Any discussion on that,
I think that's very fair.
on the amendment?
It's reasonable, it works out good when people have less money.
Well, like you said, if they did it the other way, I could see people saying, well, gee, I think I got a sticker last June, but I can't remember, and this way, you get them in January.
January.
It's that simple. I think it's a good
Move
idea.
we adopt the amendment as specified by Amanda.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So that passes.
So now we have to vote on the
Order itself,
order itself.
as amended.
I'm catching up here.
Yep.
Okay, we have an amended order with 50% prorated sticker fees for order 20-06 for the 2020 year. Stickers running out December 31st, 2020. All those in favor of passing this order as amended, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? So that passes.
I think we missed a motion.
You've got
We
a,
actually
be
had
tech-
two in there.
you've got a few extra.
Yeah, we actually had
motions.
extras.
There was extras in there. I think we got it all
We
covered.
got it.
You're definitely double covered here.
Catherine, will we get a new one of these to sign then, that has it amended, or will this stand where we've approved it as amended?
What we'll do is we will write on that one and make it explicitly clear by typing on exactly what the new number is,
Thank you.
which means I have to do it 6 times.
All right, so we have order 20-07, but we are looking for a motion to hold that order and deal with resolution 20-49 first.
Move we waive the rule and work on resolution 20-49.
Second.
I don't know why I couldn't get that.
That's okay.
All those in favor of waiving the rules to address resolution 20-49 over order 20-07, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, so that passes. So Catherine, I guess we'll go on to resolution 20-49.
All right, very good. Resolution 20-49, resolved that the town council reject all bids received for the request for proposals for the purchase of 2 trucks as a delay of, we were quoted many periods of time, but at least 2 months or more from the shutdown caused by the COVID-19 pandemic would be detrimental to the work program required in the water sewer departments and the cemeteries.
Move we adopt resolution 20-49.
Second.
Sorry, I lost my page. Where did it go? Here we go. Too many pieces of paper. Here we go. Okay, Tim, did you do the first in that?
I did the first, he did the second.
Okay, 1, 2. Thank you. Counselor, discussion.
So I've unmuted 5203, which is the water sewer department, in
Okay.
case they wanted to say
Thank you.
anything. So if Chris wanted to say anything on this and why we would be rejecting the bids, you can click on the reactions button or start talking.
Can you hear me?
We can, really loud.
I'm sorry. No, I felt that the amount of time that we'd have to wait, and considering the amount of time we've already been without a truck, we might be better off just to reject the bids. And there's a couple that they have right up here in town, our local dealership, that they've offered to sell us at some discounted prices. The cemetery would save $2,000. The price for the water sewer truck would go up about $3,400, but it's because it's a truck that it's not one that we would have had built. It's one that's got more options than we generally would have, but they could get us in it within a week or two once the accessories and the plow were put on it. I feel it's a small cost to get up and running the way we should be.
Sounds
agree.
reasonable to me.
I agree.
Yes.
What we have to spend on one, we'll save on the other.
Exactly.
Well, and not only that, Chris, when you're saying that it would go up, it's going up something that we would have had to pay anyway because we were going to have the additionals put on the other truck, right?
That price includes the plow and everything, but the truck they have up there has stuff such as a backup camera and heated mirrors and stuff that we generally wouldn't have bought, so that adds to the price. Cosmetically, the only difference in the truck is it's going to have aluminum wheels instead of the steel that we would have ordered, and it's not going to be white or blue, it's more of a silver color. But other than that, it's still just a 3/4 ton work truck.
Does it have the bed liner in it?
It does not. We would still have to do that.
Which we were going to have to do anyway.
Right.
Yes.
So you guys are currently without a truck?
Chris has been using his own vehicle.
We have one truck, usually we have two, but we sold off last year after so many problems with the truck, and the cost to repair it was much more than the value of the truck. It just had come to an end, so that was sold off. And so
Yeah, we've been down the truck 13 to 14 months now.
there was no funding in the budget and no ability to spend any more money last year.
Well, I feel it's reasonable. I think that if we want our people to do the best job, we need to provide them with the equipment to do that job.
It's a bit more than we would have received, but it still is a good bargain.
But we're getting it quicker
Oh,
than we
much
would
quicker.
normally.
Chris was told so many different periods of time, and then some dealers told him that people are backed up waiting for vehicles they've ordered since last September. So, we would just be getting in line and continuing on with this. So we need to move forward here and get more
That's because they're
projects done.
special ordered ones, is that what it is?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay, I see.
So
So instead of
actually,
getting,
the truck they're waiting for from last September is just a basic cab over truck, something that don't even have a bed on it. They ordered it for another water utility, and finally that utility just gave up and said, we don't want it anymore, so when it comes in, sell it. So it's nothing, it wasn't a special order, it was just a truck without a bed, because they were gonna put a utility body on it.
Some of it there were some union issues with the factories and everything, too, and other things going
Well,
on.
parts supply is getting to be an issue now too.
Yeah, we got all kinds of issues
There's so
developing.
many issues
Yeah.
falling out for all of this. Any more discussion? We're actually on resolution 20-49, which is just to
We're
reject
sort
all
of
the
talking
bids.
about all of them.
So we need to reject them all, and then we can go back and
Yeah.
revisit the actual bid, which is the next resolution.
Yeah.
But we have to do the order first, and then the
And
resolution,
then,
right?
yes,
Yes.
Okay.
so,
So any discussion on rejecting the bids that we did receive?
no.
well, I think the discussion we had was kind of along those, like, do
Right.
we really want to do that? And I
Yeah.
don't see, given what he's given us for information, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't
Okay.
reject those.
Yeah, we sort of had to talk it through because it's
Yeah.
all related.
It is, yeah. Okay,
Okay,
counselors. Let's vote on resolution 20-49 to reject those bids. All those in favor of rejecting the bids, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So that will pass. And then we can go to order 20-07.
We'll go back to the order.
Oh, let's take a nap while she reads them.
Yeah, I can make it through it. Ordered by the town council authorizing equipment lease, purchase, financing, and appropriation of the proceeds thereof. Town of Pittsfield, Maine, orders of town council authorizing equipment lease, purchase, financing, and appropriation of the proceeds thereof. Whereas the town desires to authorize the acquisition of a 2020 Silverado 2500 to be known as the equipment, and whereas the town desires to authorize a municipal lease purchase financing arrangement to finance the cost of the equipment, and whereas the town desires to appropriate funds from the FY 2020 budget to pay the amount of said lease purchase financing from the following line items: debt service line item under the water enterprise fund and debt service line item within the sewer enterprise fund. Now, therefore, be it voted, resolved, and ordered by the Town Council of Pittsfield, Maine, Section 1. The sum of up to $46,403.90 is hereby appropriated to finance the cost of acquisition of the equipment. Section 2. For the purposes of financing the aforesaid appropriation pursuant to the town charter and all amendments thereof, and acts additional thereto, and all other authority thereto enabling, there is hereby authorized and approved one or more equipment lease purchase agreements, each such lease to be in such form and contain such terms and provisions as the Finance Committee may hereafter determine or authorize, with such terms and conditions including the interest rates, term or maturity, and other terms and conditions of the town treasurer, as the town treasurer and the mayor deem appropriate, and to award the equipment lease purchase agreements to such financial institution or institutions as it deems to be in the best interest of the town. And the treasurer, mayor, clerk, and other appropriate officers of the town are hereby authorized and empowered to do all such acts and things, and to execute, deliver, file, approve, and record all such lease purchase financing documents, leases, contracts, assignments, certificates, memorandums, abstracts, such other documents as required by the leaseor of such equipment, and other documents as may be necessary or advisable, with the advice of counsel for the town, as may be necessary or appropriate in connection with such lease purchase financing. Section 3. The town, pursuant to Internal Revenue Service Treasury Regulations 1.15-2, period, hereby declares its official intent to pay on an interim basis cost of the equipment, which cost the town reasonably expects to reimburse the proceeds of such tax-exempt equipment lease purchase agreements to be issued by the town in the maximum principal amount of $41,070. Section 4. The acquisition of the equipment under such equipment lease purchase agreements is necessary and convenient in the furtherance of and will at all times be used in connection with the town's governmental and proprietary purposes and functions, and are in the best interest of the town, and no portion of the equipment will be used directly or indirectly in any trade or business carried on by any person other than the town on a basis different from the general public. The town covenants that it will perform all acts within its power which are or may be necessary to ensure that the interest portion of the rental payments under the equipment lease purchase agreements shall at all times be and remain exempt from federal income taxation. Section 3. The town further covenants that the municipal lease purchase agreement is hereby designated a qualified tax-exempt obligation pursuant to Section 265, subsection B of the Internal Revenue Code. Fiscal note, the total estimated, and this is estimated, the total estimated lease purchase principal is $41,070. I took out the document fee because that shouldn't be in there. And the total estimated lease interest is $5,333.90 based on an estimated interest at a rate of 5.461% over 5 years. The end.
There we go.
Yeah.
Council, we adopt order 20-07.
Second?
I have a question. How much did we originally budget for this?
All right, so there's funds available in the line items for the debt service. So there's a principal payment that is larger than the amount that is needed for a loan, and so there is sufficient fund in the debt service line to pay for this.
Okay.
So we didn't change it and do a lot of writing. There was sufficient funds within the debt service lines of the water and sewer department.
Okay.
How do we address this? Does the order has been moved and seconded?
Mm-hmm.
So we vote
So
on the
do we
order.
vote on the resolutions individually, or are they covered?
We would do each vote.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
You know, we pass the order that authorizes the equipment lease purchase financing, and then we go to the resolutions for each of them.
Okay.
So how much do we end up paying each year for the 5 years?
All right, so each year for the 5 years, it will be $4,640.39 from the water enterprise and $4,640.39 from the sewer enterprise. So it will be split up between the two budgets for a total of whatever the $9,000 figure is.
Okay.
And these are estimated amounts because sometimes with the truck purchases, when the actual item comes, they take out, like they put in a document fee and they put in some other stuff, but we only finance the principal amount. So that changes a little bit, and sometimes the interest rate is a little bit less. If it's more, we say no, you know, but once in a while it's been less on some of these. So this is estimated.
Okay.
So half comes from water, half comes from sewer.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments about order 20-07?
I have reservations, but at the same time, I think it's a terrible thing that they're only operating out one truck and Chris is using his.
It's a recipe for a disaster.
Yes.
Actually, these trucks will both replace trucks that people are using their personal.
Now,
trucks
Peter's
for.
been using his truck since he.
Yeah, honestly, the cemeteries is separate though, because they have their own.
Yeah, they have their
Yes,
own fund, it's
absolutely.
not like a tax
Same for
dollars.
that. It's just a high amount to, in the times that we're in.
Correct,
The
it's just
circumstances
falling in
we're
a
in.
bad period of
Yeah.
time.
But at the same time, I recognize the need for the truck.
And this truck should last quite a while. It's not gonna have high mileage on it if you're just driving.
Oh, yeah, I told them that this is it for a decade.
Yeah, but, so what that means is the town has to make a commitment to do regular
Yeah.
maintenance when it's required.
Yes.
Regardless, there should be money to make those. I don't wanna see happen to this truck what happened to the big truck,
Yeah, and that will never happen again.
because,
Well, and there is a no smoking rule in our town vehicles too, correct?
yes,
Yes, and we have gone over that with people, and they have that in writing.
Because that does deteriorate vehicles much
Yeah.
quicker, even though we like to think that it doesn't.
Correct, it does. Yep.
Well,
Air filters and stuff like that.
the last truck was a 2006, so we went 14 years. That's pretty good.
So
And
what
we have it in our line items, right, for allowing for those service?
Yeah, we
things?
have all the maintenance, and in fact,
I thought
we have an employee on staff that maintains all the public works vehicles, and now we have an employee, it's a temp employee, but they're on staff in the water sewer helping Chris, who knows how to change all the oils, and we've actually bought the containers and the ramps and everything.
that,
All the
Reminds
service
me
on
of-
the new truck would be done at the dealership, at least for the term of the
Yeah.
lease.
Right.
Yeah.
And then after that, they'll be able to, do the work themselves.
Great. Any other questions, concerns, reservations that like to be aired?
Is there a plan, Chris, to do an undercoating on this truck?
I sure would like to see it be done.
I think it needs to be.
I agree.
With the stuff they're putting on the roads today, you should do that, especially if we're
I'd
buying-
really like to see us do it with the 2011 that we have in service as well. It's never too late.
Well, you can look into the pricing for that, see if it's in the budget, and if not, we can budget for it. next
Certainly on the new
Right.
vehicle. On the older vehicles, that tends to, it eats rust, so you might not have a vehicle left after you.
year. Well, that's not good.
You'd have to have
Maybe
a
we should
really
do
good,
that.
you'd have to have a really good cleaning in order to do it on one that's already been exposed.
Yeah, but I
The
think,
new one, absolutely.
I definitely on the new one, I think that needs to be looked at.
Okay, I made a note of that.
Absolutely.
Especially like Pete says, what they're putting on these roads today, you wanna protect your investment, cause they're high. I mean, I've seen 2014s that are rusting out.
Yeah.
Yep. And we're gonna put in, once this is purchased, Chris, you're gonna get it scheduled to have the bed liner put in too, correct?
Yes, all that stuff I'd have to, we discussed it at the last meeting I was at. We didn't want to include that in the price of the truck, so that Donnie said that we would go out and get quotes and prices for all this stuff and decide what we wanted to do after we got it.
Okay, good, because we don't wanna be putting equipment in the back of that truck and scraping up the paint and
No.
causing rust.
No, because one of the other things that we had talked about was possibly just a rubber mat insert, but that doesn't really protect the sides of the truck.
Put a bed liner, put a liner.
Spray in line.
Yeah, spray a liner.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
But
they
no,
have,
definitely, I'll call and get prices and we'll get that done just as soon as possible.
Just get your car, get you a couple more years out of it, so.
well, they have so much that they look around and move
Absolutely.
with projects that we need to protect the equipment.
You can get
And
that.
We want it to last
the metal
another
so thin
14
in these
years.
new trucks that I wouldn't dare put much in it until it was done.
No.
I agree. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Any other questions, counselors? We good to vote? Alright, so let's vote on, this is order dash 20-07. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, so that passes. So then we'll jump down to resolution 20-50.
Resolution 20-50, resolved that the town council accept the proposal of blank in an amount to not exceed blank for a 2020 Silverado 2,500 truck and authorize the town manager and deputy treasurer to transfer and expend $4,640.39 from the Water Enterprise Fund debt service line and $4,640.39 from the Sewer Enterprise Fund debt service line for such purchase.
Move we adopt resolution 20-50.
Second?
You filling in Varney Chevrolet of Pittsfield in the amount not to exceed $41,070 for, where I lost my place.
Expending.
With the two.
And to expend $4,640.39 from the Water Enterprise Fund debt service line and $4,640.39 from the Sewer Enterprise debt service line.
Second.
Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God.
You got it.
Okay, counselors, discussion on resolution 20-50.
Hey, just get those amounts again.
It's actually it's on a sheet on this sheet here.
Yeah, I put one on the table that would have
It was on
That had the stuff
Ah,
in it.
okay, very
Right?
good.
Okay.
Yep.
The next one's on there too, so you can read right off of that too.
Gotcha.
Okay,
So was that
discussion
seconded?
about this, yes, Matt,
Okay.
second. So we're good on that.
So it's all the same discussion that went on during the last.
Same discussion, this now we have actual numbers to go
Yep.
along with it.
I think I missed
Paper.
Do we really need to discuss it? I think we
I'm gonna wait
kinda-
for Amanda to get it, to look at it. It's a single sheet, it says town council meeting 5/19.
I put it on everybody's desk, so it's on your desk someplace.
Oh, so I must have buried it then.
Yeah.
Oh, look at, there it is. I got it. Thank you.
It's just easier if I fill it in for you.
Did you have any questions about it, Amanda?
No,
Okay.
I think we've already discussed it pretty thoroughly.
I think so too. All right, so let's vote on resolution 20-50. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Resolution 20-51.
Resolution 20-51, resolved that the town council accept the proposal of blank in an amount to not exceed blank for a 2020 Silverado regular pickup truck and authorize the town manager and deputy treasurer to transfer and expend from the cemetery general fund number G7-121-00 at TD Wealth for such purchase, which shall only be used for the purpose of work for the cemeteries.
Move we adopt resolution 20-51, filling in Varney Chevrolet of Pittsfield, the amount of $25,910.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on this? This is a cemetery truck.
No, he needs it.
So are they online to ask questions or no?
Pardon?
Did-
There's nobody there from the
Is Peter
cemetery?
on?
No, Peter decided that his letter would stand for him, because I had suggested he go over with Scott, with Chris, and they could use the phone there at the water sewer department and call in and not use the personal phones and stuff. So Peter was all set, and he put a letter in here that explained out the truck. He looked over the truck, he really liked it, he's saving money over the one that came in from the bids. And he was excited it was there at the dealership.
Does that satisfy the type of equipment that you need to haul
Yes,
or future equipment?
yeah, he was all set, yeah.
Okay.
I lost the letter.
I don't think I ever had found the
I,
list.
I saw it in here, but
Yeah, the letter says I have chosen a Chevrolet truck for use as the cemetery sector. After pursuing the bids, I have concluded that this vehicle has the features needed for work at the Pittsfield Cemetery. Barney Chevrolet came in with the lowest bid, and this is after they ran around to the dealers again to see what they had on the floor. And I would like to support our local business. Thank you and the town council for your professionalism and support with the process of procuring a vehicle for said use in the Pittsfield Cemetery. Sincerely, Peter Snow. To Catherine.
Okay, so did he write that, or did he have someone else? Because his signature is way different than
His
the.
wife,
I think this is.
wrote out what he wanted.
Who did?
His wife. Yeah. It was his wording.
She has beautiful penmanship. I do have one question. Oh, we have to.
We're on questions.
Okay. Where would we be storing this vehicle when the cemetery, when winter comes?
He asked that question, and I said, you're gonna go down to the Public Works Department and figure out if there is some location there, and if not, is there some other location we can put it in and add to our insurance policy?
Well,
so he has to explore that.
Okay. Well, actually, Dean was the one that asked me to ask that question, because there isn't any place down at Public Works. He was curious. He thought the town had a hangar at the airport that we could store some things in.
That we discussed, and the town is not allowed under all the federal assurances that we have on the millions of dollars that we've gotten for the airport to use it, any of the buildings or any of the equipment for any other use except during a civil emergency. We're able to use the equipment, which is better than the equipment that we have, to deal with like a massive snow removal project. So no, we're not allowed to put any of our town vehicles.
He
or
wasn't
equipment.
sure, so I said, well, I'll ask. So
I have to sign insurance every year.
I would recommend finding a place undercover in a building so that it's not left out to the weather all winter long.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
And you can just take the battery out.
And I did have to put on here, I mean, we use the vehicles for all the different purposes, but these funds are coming from a cemetery trust account.
Correct.
So it can only be used for the cemetery. And this is the massive account that we've acquired over the years that went from, when I came, was all divided up and was under 200,000, and
That
then.
was my first term.
Yeah, so we put everything together, and it's worked out wonderfully. And then we got over $1 million in all the cemetery monies last year, and now it went down, from.
It'll be back though.
It'll be back in a few.
It'll be
take a
back
while.
because the Fed keeps leaving I don't know exactly what the prime is right now, but it's close to 0. So.
There's only one place it can go, and that's up.
That's right.
Yes.
But it's not gonna go back up. If it goes back up, it will not help the economy. Leaving it close to 0 gets people to take out loans at lower interest rates.
Catherine, is it possible that we rent a space for it to be stored for the winter if we can use those funds from the cemetery fund if we don't find another place?
We would have to, because it has to be used for certain items, rental of a location wouldn't be applicable, but we have talked about how we may have to rent a location.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it'll be a brand new truck. It's a truck for 10 to 20 years, so it's got to be taken care of.
Exactly.
And it should last a long time because it won't be out in the winter, so.
Should last a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's
Any
only
other-
going to be used part of the year.
Any other discussion regarding the purchasing of said vehicle under resolution -51?
The only thing I would say is between the two resolutions, it works itself out pretty well, and plus, we're dealing with local, our equipment is buying local and helping other local business that probably could use help right now, and we all can, so I'm glad of that.
I really like the fact that they're coming from Barney.
Yeah.
Yeah, the service will be quick to get there instead of driving to Bangor or Waterville.
Any other comments, counselor? Okay, let's vote on resolution 20-51. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So that passes. We're on to resolution 20-52.
Resolution 20-52, resolved that the town council waives the bid policy, chapter 2, administrative code, section 106, to accept the proposal from blank of blank for roadside mowing, department mowing, and Pittsfield Municipal Airport mowing in an amount to not exceed blank for roadside mowing, a price per hour for in-town mowing, blank for department mowing, and blank for Pittsfield Municipal Airport mowing, and authorize the town manager to execute the contracts for same, an item that needs to be tabled.
Okay, just say, I have not seen anything here.
That's
Okay, so
why.
we're tabling this.
I have received no information.
Okay.
This is
Town-
resolution
20-52.
22, okay.
So we need a motion to table.
I move we table resolution 20-52.
Second,
Thank
So
you.
this is the one the Public Works Foreman is working on. Originally, he was going to go out to bid. He wanted to hire the same contractor again, but we discussed at last year that we needed to bid this out because it's a significant amount of work. And so that did not get done. So I told him that to save time, he could go around and talk to all the local contractors, give them the same documents that we've had before, and get prices. And I have not received anything yet, so we need to table it. It needs to be done at the next meeting because the grass will be growing.
Oh, the grass is growing fast this week?
Dean's already
This
mowed
sunshine
lawns.
is
I
really
can't even believe it.
turning things on. All right, so let's have a vote on tabling 20-52, and we will expect to have this in front of us at the June
We're
meeting.
going to have to.
Okay. Counselors, all those in favor of tabling 20-52, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that passes. Resolution 20-53.
Resolution 20-53, resolved that the town council authorize the town manager and deputy treasurer to issue a request for proposals for a tax anticipation note to not exceed $500,000.
Move we adopt resolution 20-53.
Second?
So this is just housekeeping, actually giving permission to take out what we discussed at the public hearing earlier.
Correct.
Any more discussion on this item, counselors?
We have a standard bid document that's been approved by the town attorney that indicates that it's set up just like the bids that we've done for the financing for the paving and capital projects. We would go out to bid with the legal ad. The bidders, the banks would come in with the filling out how much the interest would be, what the interest rate would be for the borrowing, and that they can meet all the requirements that we have, and we would follow the federal law.
Any discussion, counselors? Questions? Pretty straightforward. All right, let's vote on 20-53. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. And resolution 20-54.
Resolution 20-54, resolved that the town council accepts a bid of blank, dated blank, with an interest rate of blank percent per annum for the financing of the 2020 paving of public roads and capital improvements in an amount to not exceed $706,000. So that information is in your package, just a little bit overstood.
Move we adopt resolution 20-54, inserting First National Bank dated 4/29/2020 at a rate of 2.51%.
Second.
What was it dated?
Hmm?
What was the date?
Oh, I'm sorry, 4/29.
Thank you. Second.
Okay, discussion, counselors.
I know, I'm a little anxious about having so many loans and things, but this was the second loan that we had planned for since last year. And so I'm sure that whether there be a third loan or not, will be a major discussion issue during the budget session. But for this purpose, this has been planned since last year for the paving, second year of paving, which has paving bids out now for the Higgins Road. due to its condition. And so I called First National Bank. We have not had a loan with them before. They were very excited to be low bidder. When we first looked at the bids, it was like, whoa, Skowhegan saving 2.46. But then we read more that they had some exceptions in there, which did not meet our requirements, in which we had to move $500,000 into their bank, into their account, which one, they're not here in town anymore, and two, we don't have enough money to split up between multiple banks anymore. And so we need to keep it all together where an interest rate is good and the bank service is good. So that disqualified the 2.46, it's really 2.96.
Still all good interest rates.
Pardon?
Still all pretty good interest rates.
Oh yeah, the interest rates are very good.
Did you have numbers, just curious, on the bond bank, of what that is coming in for the spring notes, or?
No, that's
We just
all
left
running
it
a little
alone.
bit behind,
Okay,
so.
all right, we won't even worry about that. I was just curious as to how that played out, because I know last year it was actually a little bit higher.
Yep, just a tiny bit, but we had to wait so long and then borrow from ourselves, and the legal fees to do that would probably have taken care of the
Right.
savings.
Yeah. So, counselors, do you have any other questions about the financing and accepting this bid for financing for the?
So again, that's being borrowed on the future fund money?
Yes, it'll be paid for by the future fund money, yes.
So
At least for a
again,
number.
I really had reservations with that, but at this point, we're.
Yeah, at this point, this one we have to do. So that's, until 2028, and then we'll.
And I would recommend that we not take our third loan.
I would
It
not
would
be
be a
interested in
lot.
That would,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to be a big topic of discussion at the finance.
It's gonna be. a
Starting
big
this
number.
summer, guys, we'll talk about the budget, not right now.
That's right. We don't have enough time for budget.
well,
No, I
we're
wanna get out of here for
behind, so.
8:30.
Yeah. So, okay, any other discussions about this particular item? Okay, not hearing any, let's vote on resolution 20-54. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that will pass. And
Resolution 20-55, resolved that the town council ratify the agreement between the town of Pittsfield and the Pittsfield Police Association affiliated with the Maine Association of Police, covering the period of January 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2022.
Move we adopt resolution 20-55.
Second.
counselors, any discussion, questions about resolution 20-55?
It's not really anything we're allowed to discuss right now, right?
The only thing I can tell you is being on that committee, Council Billings and I, there was a lot of discussion. There was a lot of give and take. Everybody didn't get what they wanted. We didn't get everything we wanted. They didn't get everything we wanted, but it was a good compromise. And they're happy with it, and they're willing to move ahead. And so in these kind of negotiations, you don't always get everything you want, but we came within striking distance where we could live with it and they could live with it. So I think it was a good contract, and they're ready to go.
Deborah, did you want to say anything? It was your first contract negotiation.
I'm sorry?
It was your first contract
Oh.
negotiation.
Yeah, but I think it went very smoothly.
It was.
I talked to Heather and I texted. I think it was a good negotiation. Took a little longer, but we learned some things. And there was give and take. Both sides didn't get everything that they wanted, but we definitely got a contract that we can all live with for the next 3 years. That, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the proposal as written up always by the union attorney, because we don't have an attorney that works on it with us. They brought it in just at the deadline, so it did need to go on here by requirements of our administrative code. So it came in late, but it was on the date by the time it was supposed to be done. So I made sure that you had copies of the prior contract, the new contract, and made a list of all of the items that were revisions and the reasons why. It's a great improvement over the language that we had. Now, normally, we did not have to use some of those sections previously, but now that we had to use them, we found that it was very difficult, time-consuming, and cost money, and so we have straightened out parts of the contract, which I think will be a great benefit to everyone. Much
Better to have too many sections than not enough.
Pardon?
I said it's better to have too many sections than not enough.
Well, this contract is much clearer than the previous. The previous one kind of made my head spin.
When
The
you
way
actually
the
go
way it
through
was
the
written.
process, yes.
It'll be a lot easier to follow going ahead, that's for sure.
Yes, this one is much easier to follow.
Yeah, I think it was an old, it's an old union contract from the Teamsters, from what I could research in looking at Teamster ones. And so it really, we hadn't had to use about half of it, but we did have to use it in the last couple of years. And so we need to make it, from what we learned, make it better. And we made it as clear as you can and much better. More communication.
Any other discussion? Okay, councilors, let's vote on accepting the resolution 20-55. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard, so that passes.
And now that becomes a public document.
Now that it's a public document, can we answer Amanda's question? Or no?
What question?
Oh, what question do you have?
Well, I asked my question earlier.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh,
So
I did too.
Yep.
My question's
I'm all
answered.
set.
yeah, that's why I said contact me.
Yep.
Normally, we only have a minute amount of questions, but there were a lot of changes, which is why I made that long list.
Yeah.
Which took longer than I thought it would.
Okay. All right, that brings us to resolution 20-56.
Resolution 20-56 resolved that the town council approve the liquor license for J.W. Parks Golf Course located at 382 Heartland Avenue, Pittsfield, Maine, 04967.
Move we adopt resolution 20-56.
Second.
Any discussion?
Renewal application, the facility is always in great order, and they are so excited to get open.
Happy to see golfers out this
Oh,
past
yes,
weekend.
it's a great activity.
I'm ready and happy to give any local business what they need to operate.
Any other comments, councilors? All right, let's vote on resolution 20-56. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not opposed, so that passes. Resolution 20-57.
So on this one, I'm going to not read it and just note that Nancy made the decision based upon what she's been through, as many businesses have with COVID-19 and having to recreate their businesses. And so she's going to continue to evolve pop-on-overs into the new world that we're in. So in 2021, for the next round, I believe that we'll be coming back with this application for the sprinkler fire system and any other projects that she has. And redo the letter of intent and then the grant application. For this year, she will be continuing to evolve pop-on-overs and setting up the new items such as the online services and rent out the apartments and rooms this year before going to the bed and breakfast. And so we'll be sending a letter to the state indicating that we won't be going beyond part 1, food and beverages, which she has now, but part 2 will, the lodging will go into next year. Things just got set back. I mean, the businesses have been through such an ordeal.
Well, I'm sure the state understands.
Yes, so I'm sure they will, and this is a good conservative plan, and it's the right way to go.
So we are just going to withdraw resolution 20-57. We don't have to address it.
We don't even have to acknowledge it.
No.
So we can just skip
So we
it.
just have that information and we'll go from there. Okay, so 20-58. I did not find any additional information in my packet on this.
Yes, so this is one that's ongoing, so I'll tell you what's been going on, and then you'll see what you
Oh,
want.
Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, so this is, it was in the packet, but there's new name. So resolution 20-58, resolved that the town council appoint members to the new Parks and Recreation Committee, which combine the former Parks and Recreation Committee, the Pinnacle Park Board, and the Swimming Pool Committee. So
Do we have names?
Well, let's
get
discussion.
it.
I move we adopt resolution 20-58.
Second.
Okay, now we can talk about it.
All right, so what has happened is that, and this is actually a good thing, Ben Hall has been working night and day on the Puritan project, and so he was organizing all of this, and we have some names, but we don't have all the names, so we thought probably wait until the next meeting. So Ben Hall would like to be on the Parks and Recreation Committee. We've confirmed Lindsay Turner and Devin Varney. So we have 3 of the 7 names.
Can you say the second name again, please?
Yeah, Lindsay Turner. Lindsay did the skating rink, and so came in and spoke early on. Ben Hall has been into our meetings, and Devin Barney is trying to organize swimming for later this season if it's possible. And there's pros and cons there, but he's working away on it. So he's very enthusiastic and wants to be on the board. So I think these are 3 great members.
What does Ben want to do?
Be on the Parks and Recreation.
Yes, but what, like Lindsay is representing the ice
Well,
rink.
Lindsay probably would represent on the skate.
What would Ben be?
I think
Ben's on the Pinnacle Park.
I think
board.
Pinnacle, but also recreational sports, because he's very interested in those.
Okay.
So we're waiting.
I was just curious.
Yeah, we're waiting for some other people. So Ben and I talked, we'd like to table this until the next meeting. He'll have the full agenda at that time.
Okay, I move we table resolution 20-58.
Second.
And so because we were combining the committees, I did not advertise to the public because we wanted to talk about giving these people the chance. But there may be an opportunity once Ben calls me that he's got 5 members, and so we got 2, and then I'll advertise it quickly. I have the ad written up.
Is he gonna know, like, in the next couple, like, the next week or so, so that there's time to get that?
Yes, he'll know.
Okay, all those in favor of tabling resolution 20-58 in order to give more people time to sign up for the committee, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That will pass. Okay, reports.
Yeah, so we have discussion items, and so I have the
Oh, no,
department.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I have department reports there, nothing to report on. All the departments that submitted their reports by the due date, got their items in the package. There's a couple of missing ones. And I also had a longer one from Jamie, before she went out on unemployment. So she put together all of the items that she had worked on, to get ready, to get everything ready for the theater, in case it did open at some point. The guidance coming down is contradictory as to how long that would take if it would happen. So that's something to explore further. And the financial reports are not here in that the staff got everything posted as of that Thursday after the due date, and it takes me 23 hours, or it used to take me 23 hours until the change with the checking account. But I'll get that so it goes faster. It takes me 23 hours to do all the reconciliations, so there's no way to put them in the package or even do them. There'll be other projects going on. So those will be on the next agenda. And then I am tracking the totals so I can see exactly what the cash is, and that I can do easily. Thank you.
Catherine, I have a question. Dave's report says that some people have already purchased tickets for the drag show. Why would we not just refund those tickets?
Well, we will have to, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they were still saying there's hope, but.
Yeah, no. Do we have a police report?
Pardon?
Do we have a police report?
No, I didn't receive one. I did have for the theater, I have all of the, files and the different policies that have been set up. So, before Jamie went out, she made sure I had everything.
Okay,
She
good.
had put together.
And we can pass that along to the committee if
Yeah,
they
the
already
committee
have,
has
they have
multiple.
copies.
Yeah.
Are they having regular meetings?
Pardon?
Are they having meetings yet, or no?
I think that everybody's waiting for June, and then we'll have an explosion of meetings.
Okay.
And hopefully the guidance will stay the same, but we'll find out shortly.
Okay. Audience, I think we don't have any audience with us.
They're all gone now.
So, counselors, reports, counselor reports. Amanda, do you want to start tonight?
Sure. First, I wanted to say, Catherine, thank you for posting that we were having a Zoom meeting on the Facebook page, but could we include the Zoom link in that posting? It is really buried on the website, especially if you're trying to join from your phone.
So that was something that I tried, and I had several people try to help me put that on, and I noticed other towns have not done that. It will not stay on there so you can click on it. I even had a conversation with Jane Woodworth, who tried to do it too, and had the same experience that I did. So we haven't figured out how to take it from the website and how to put it on there and have it stay there. Multiple people have tried to help me with that.
I can help you with that.
Okay, so you'll have to solve it because all the rest of us can't.
Not a problem, because I posted the last one on my Facebook page and there was no issues.
Okay, good.
So I'm happy to help you with that.
We did try to take it off the website, which might be part of the problem, and maybe I need to take it from the Outlook directly, if there's a way to do that, directly to the Facebook. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we can definitely, Catherine, that's not a problem. Also, outside of the library, on Library Street, that street light, I think it says it's number 1, which I think is hilarious. That light is on all day long. So we might want to check that out.
Yeah, I think that is the one that we already sent in too, but I'll get after them.
All
Yes,
right.
because you had mentioned that some time ago.
I had, yes, and it's still doing it. We went for a walk and we took that route and I was like, oh, that's still on.
Okay.
So I just wanted to report that again,
Yeah,
that it's
okay.
still running and so we're still
Yeah,
paying
that's
electricity
very
all day for
helpful.
that.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, and that was at noon on a very bright sunny day, so.
Sometimes I do that.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Tim?
Just a couple of quick things. I'm glad that, again, like I said, that we're getting vehicles from Varney Chevrolet. We're helping a local business in town, and that's always a good thing. Again, I'm glad that that the old General Signal / Edwards building is being utilized. And it sounds like there's going to be a lot of people working. It's going to get very busy around here, which is good. Things are starting to open up again. And I'm glad to hear about the airport down there, and that's moving along. I want to thank all the town employees for all their hard work. I'm glad the negotiations are done, and the budget and the police union contract is passed for the next 3 years. So that was very clear and concise, and a lot of work went into it, so that's done.
Yeah.
I would like to try, Catherine, if it's possible, to have a recycling committee meeting on the 3rd Wednesday of June. I don't know what your schedule looks like or anybody else's. I don't want to get it in too close because I know other people got other meetings, but I was thinking if we could do it on the 3rd week, it'd be before people go away for the 4th of July. And maybe we can hammer down something I can bring back to the council, how we want to proceed with the reuse building. Again, I'll talk to you about that in another week or so.
Yeah, the information at the library on how to handle the books has some scientific work that's being done through a National Library Association. And Holly's supposed to have that for all these different types of materials. It won't have all the things we have, but it finds out how long the virus stays and what to do. They've got their procedures now, but it's, you know, the best that they can come up with. So we will have more information. That was supposed to take 2 weeks, so that should be coming in next week. So that will be helpful. And then we're supposed to get some guidance on some of these other type activities. Now this one may be difficult to do there, so we've got to shift over to the old trash to treasure days, but people love those, so you know, that's something good to get people out looking at things and on their own.
I
Yeah.
would think that the recycling building could use the same guidelines as like an antique shop or something along those lines, because they were able to open this week, yesterday.
And so that's all good, and that's all good when you have a certain number of people, but it's like a mass.
Oh, no, I know that part. I'm just thinking of the touching and the items and there's guidelines that the state's already issued for those types of businesses. So maybe those guidelines
so
would
look
be a
at those.
starting
Okay.
point for what we would want to develop for the reuse center. Because it is a little different. If you have staff in there, they're receiving things, and it's more volume probably than having one owner curating.
Because you got people
samples.
everywhere, and
Yes.
then out in the parking lot, all the arrangements that get made before the materials even go in.
Well, all that stuff shouldn't be our
that's
issue,
not
you
for
know.
us.
If it
We
happens
care about
outside of
that.
the building, it's not our problem.
Yeah.
We need to figure out
And
what's
it's gonna
inside
be
the
even, it's gonna be a
building.
heavier volume this year because people
Yeah.
have been cooped
Oh,
up and
yeah.
haven't been able to get out and, I just see that.
Spring
happening.
cleaning.
Spring cleaning.
2.5 months.
Yeah. So,
Everybody's houses should be spot and
The good
clean
news-
right now with all the cleaners and stuff.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
stored.
The good news is the people that are on fixed incomes that really don't have the money to, get the extra things they'd like to have, we'll get them, and that's the way it should be. And,
Yeah, and then we got all the things that'll be dropped off, and how do we clean them, so this is like a major
Yeah.
item, and the ladies will need some help, because it's just too many people there all at once.
So I'd like to, if it's possible, I'm gonna shoot for the third Wednesday in June, if that's okay with you. I didn't know what your schedule looks like or anything, but.
Yeah, that's fine, and now that the labor negotiations are done, because that took up a lot of time, well, it's a good thing that's done.
And things are starting to warm up. It's going to be in the 70s coming right up here, and things are going to start picking up. I was in, I've been around the last couple of days, and I can see things are picking up. So that's a good thing.
People are everywhere.
People are everywhere.
Boy,
And,
is that area for the four-wheeler trail busy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And on a little bit of a sad note, not huge, but still, I didn't know that well, but Marie Rollins passed away, and that was a friend of my aunt's, and she was big in the community, did a lot. She was on, I believe, the garden club. She was in the players. I mean, I knew Marie to say hi to, but I know she was a personal friend of my aunt Gladys Emery, so I wanted to put my condolences out to her family. She did a lot for town. And other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you. Tim, Matt. Thank you, Tim.
I just want to say, I'm also happy to see the departments getting the equipment that they needed, and most importantly, we're supporting our local businesses, Varney Chevrolet, which I said in the beginning, I was hoping that we could make, do a deal with them, and hopefully it was going to work out, and I'm glad it did, and we can support them as much as we can, and that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
All I have is a statement for tonight. I would like to respond to comments made by the mayor at our last meeting on May 5th regarding Chief Bickmore. A majority of this council feels the remarks were inappropriate in this venue. The residents of Pittsfield must understand the council is legally bound by the town charter with regards to personnel. In the future, public statements from the council need to be appropriate to our work and leave the personnel issues where they belong with the town manager. And that's all I have.
Okay. Pete.
I think just a couple things. A couple of questions. Kathy, do you know what the plan is, or is there a plan for sealing that road that we had paved last year that still needs to be sealed?
All right, so we're talking about two different areas. We've got the section of Detroit Avenue that needs its overlay, and we've got the section of Snake Road that had the damage. So the damage is supposed to be fixed by the company, and the public works foreman has that on his list to do. So that should be fixed. We have the money back, we have the proper amount, probably have a little bit more. So that will be fixed. Because of the way the cost of the Higgins Road in so many sections, the ceiling or the overlay part will not go on to Detroit Avenue. It wasn't part of the paving bid. unless by some chance we get a great price. So it will have to be sealed it's gotta be sealed, but it's not gonna get sealed this year unless we get a really good price. It wasn't part of the bid that went out. So Snake Road that was damaged by the company, we withheld the money, that will be fixed. We have the money. If they don't do it, we'll go in and do it. The second layer of that section of Detroit Avenue is not in the bid that was put out unless by some chance the bids come in really good.
So that wasn't included in the original pavement of that road to have it sealed, or no?
I see what
The
you're
overlay.
saying. It was part of the original work.
Detroit Avenue.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
also was low on money, so I don't think that it can be done. I'll go back and look at that, because Steve said that we wouldn't be able to do it, but let me go back and check. I know what you're talking about.
Well, I think that would be kind of bad to start another road and we haven't
I know.
completed the last one.
I know.
Yeah, I was under
Yeah.
the impression that that was part of that job
Yeah.
and that we,
Yeah.
because
I
if
think
we
we
don't
all
do
were
that,
under
it's
that
just
impression.
gonna go away.
Yeah, let me check into that. I'm just thinking of what Steve told me, but thinking about this, it seems like it could be done, but I know he had overruns too, so, let me check into that.
That was one, and then the other one was, I'm remembering, I'm not even sure when, but we had a video that was gonna be done for the town. And
Yes,
where
and in
that's at.
fact, we just got an update today, isn't that, that's kind of coincidental. So Gary Jordan contacted me today about how he wanted to have a peak meeting to talk about the video and get the company going again now that the social distancing requirements are a little bit different. They can now go out to the different locations with someone to pick up some of the people they didn't have before, because you'll have groups there and some of their videos. So yes, we have to get that going.
Do you know when this got started? Because I mean, I remember it happening, but I don't remember the date that.
Last summer.
Started last summer.
Yeah.
It was before
They
the Egg
wanted-
Festival.
It was this time
We
last year.
needed four seasons.
Yeah, it was this time last year because they
Yeah.
wanted to like go out and shoot the whole video,
Yeah.
and I'm like, there aren't even leaves on the trees yet, you know. So it was about this time last year that they actually started.
That's good, so they
doing it.
actually have Egg Festival footage?
Yeah.
They did have some, yes.
Yeah. And one day at the Pinnacle.
Well, they
'cause that
won't
was the
have
one
them
day
this
of
time.
snow apparently this year. Yeah.
That was pretty much what I had.
Okay, thank you. I have. I was really excited to hear about Outland Farm opening their brewery. They're doing curbside pickup for beer and online ordering. They have a really great tasting room all set up that they can't use yet, so I'm really excited for Mike and Heather that they put so much work into that building and putting that project together, and so many reiterations of what they wanted to do and how they really persevered in getting that done. So that's really, really exciting to see. And I think when they're able to, it's really going to transform our downtown, having that available to people. Also the online registrations, it's been about a year in the works, and so that's really, really encouraging to see all those things coming to fruition that we've been setting in place over the last year or so. This wash and repoint ceiling will be great. That's another year-long project. So
With
there's a
a
lot.
reasonable price.
Yes.
With a
yes.
reputable company, so this is
Yeah,
good.
and it's great that they'll be able to do both projects
Yes,
too, and it won't be split
together.
between the two companies. And they're a local company right in Skowhegan, right?
Yes.
Yep. So again, local work, Barney Chevrolet getting the bids for the trucks is really good. I'm not going to respond too much to Deborah's statement. My only comment would be that I wish counselors had communicated with me directly about their feelings. I had one counselor that did contact me directly about their perception of my comments at the last council meeting, and I did say at that time that it was my personal feeling. I was not saying it as granted, I'm sitting in a chair just like all of you are, and I would have made those comments whether I was sitting here as mayor or whether I was sitting as a counselor. My intent in making those comments was to balance the scales a little bit. I felt like there was so much negative things put out about our police department in general in the public, that there needed to be some balance in that and have some positive things said about our police department. Because those things had not been said, and I felt that they needed to be said. So I'm going to leave it at that. If anyone wants to discuss it with me further, I'm happy to discuss it with you. And I'm just going to leave it at that for the night. Anybody else have any other comments or would like to make any other motions?
I'd like to move we adjourn.
Perfect. Thank you.
8:35.
All those in favor?
Aye?
Like,
Lisa, you signed everything.
8:31. I don't think we could get any closer.
Hey, Matt.
We have to sign this thing.
Yes, we do.
Yes, I signed, that's the liquor license,
So I
right?
had Dad talking about the weed.
I forgot about him. The
I
mill
knew
was closed
I
down.
knew you had,
Yeah.
and he called once and he knows.